radio on your stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order. Intellectually petty radio on the stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you by M3S3 Clothing. Men make moves and suckers stand still. And as always, on the mighty Nerve DJs Radio Network. Y'all already know, man. It's legend after legend after legend after legend. It's redundancy at its finest, because that's all we do around here. And today is absolutely no exception. We got the real estate mogul, serial entrepreneur, Mr. Jason Dixon in the building. How you doing, King?
Man, doing good, man. Thank you for that intro, man. That's big. Appreciate you, man.
I'll be working on it, trying to make people feel special.
Yes. I'm trying.
How's your family, man? How's everybody doing?
Oh, yeah, the family's cool, man. I appreciate it, man. Everybody's doing good and blessed.
Okay, so let's start off at the beginning. North California, in Oakland. That's where you grew up at.
Yep. I grew up in Northern California, in East Oakland.
What's East Oakland like? That's Too Short in them, right?
Yep.
That's dope.
You know Too Short, Gary Payton, a lot of legends, man. A lot of there's a lot of, all of us are kings and queens, man. There's a lot of good people came out of the Bay Area. Bill Russell, Tom Hanks.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom Hanks couldn't have been in the bottom though. Like he was like in the trendy area. I'm assuming.
I mean, Oakland is very always been pretty eclectic, man. But Tom Hanks went to Skyline.
In the
Oakland Hills.
Okay, so the Hills, is that like a more affluent area? Yes,
I was fortunate to go to Monterey, which is kind of like a pipeline middle school to Skyline in the Oakland Hills. I remember some of my friends in my neighborhood used to tease me and stuff like that. Oh, you in the Oakland Hills at Monterey? But I'm happy I had the proper mindset at an early age. I always understood how important that was to be around different people.
Okay, all right. So you get through high school. What college did you go to?
I went to Chabot College, and I had dropped out for a minute. I had my son, then I ended up going to Cal East Bay.
Okay. And at what point do you decide real estate is what I want to do?
Man, my dad been in the real estate since I've been younger, my whole life basically. He was an investor, so he had like a lot of properties by universities in Fresno and in the South Bay, and he had a pretty big portfolio of property. So that I always was intrigued by real estate at an early age, and he always, once I started getting into my last few years of high school, he always encouraged me to get into it.
Okay, so when was your first property that you bought?
My first property I bought was in my mid-20s, but really I'm a realtor, and I first got into real estate. I don't do like flipping or anything like that, wholesaling, but I first got into real estate in 2005. I did loans.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yo.
so I did loans with this company called American Prime Funding. So I had a nice run from 2005 to about 2009. Everybody remember how the economy got around 2009. Everything kind of crashed. But I had fun. I hopped in at a good time. I learned a lot. And, any experience is no waste of time. I'm happy I hopped in right before it crashed because I learned a lot, made some cool money. And then just got a chance to get trained by some good people.
So, like when it crashed, you may not know, like when the housing market, the bubble burst because bankers were using debt as monopoly money.
Yeah, to a certain extent, you're right. Yeah.
How come they never get punished?
That's a great question. Um, you know, when I started doing loans, this one guy pulled me to the side in the office, and he was one of the rock stars in the office too. And he said, why do you tell people the positives and the negatives in the loan?" And I said, well, I used to explain loans to people. Like, say if I got invited to someone's house to have a refinance meeting with them, I would say, listen, I brought you four new loans
Mm-hmm.
that I think that's better than your current loan. But I
Mm-hmm.
said, I just want you to, when you setting goals in life, it's important to be real, have realistic goals. I said,
Facts.
husband and wife love each other, but they don't love everything about each other. I said kids love their parents, parents love their kid, but they don't love everything about their kid. Kids will be lying if they said they love everything about their parent, and parents will be lying if they say they
Yeah.
love everything about their kid. That's just life, you know. No, nobody's perfect walking this earth. So I said that's the same way I look at loans, and that's the kind of the approach that I took as far as getting people to have clarity and have realistic goals. That every loan has positives and negatives. I'm going to tell you the positives and negatives in every loan, just like people are in relationships. They're not with each other because each other is perfect. It's just this person is more the positives outweigh the negatives. That's why we're together.
I mean, most of us don't come in and say I snore and I fart in my sleep.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta find that shit out on your own.
You're
You
right.
know. So you were bad for business. Is that what he was trying to tell you?
To a certain extent, but this is the thing. I have worked at hospitals and I have worked in real estate companies, and if people don't have a proper mindset, they can forget that if you're working at a hospital, you shouldn't just go in there every day, just clock in, clock out. You have to always stay grounded and realize that these people are here fighting for their life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the same thing with real estate. If you don't stay grounded, you forget that the average person biggest transaction in their life usually is real estate. That's usually the biggest loan that people get.
And cars being second.
Yeah, yeah. So it's important for me to give people. So number one, so I can have peace when I lay
Mm-hmm.
down at night because I like treating people how I want to be treated. And number two
Okay.
is just so people don't need any surprises once they already sign their name on a dotted line. Like I'll give you an example with the negative amortization loan that was very popular in like 2000. Probably like 2006 to 2008 for a couple of years was very popular, but it was a
Okay. Wait.
one
Wait. Wait. Wait.
percent.
wait. Hold on. What is that?
Well, it was a 1% loan,
Uh huh.
so it attracted a lot of consumers, and it got a lot of consumers' attention because all they was focusing on like, oh, it's 1%. I can get into a house loan with 1%, but the loan actually had four options. It had option A, option B, option C, option D. So like one of the options could have been paying just the principal. One option might have been paying the principal and interest. One option might have been paying the principal, interest, and insurance. And then you might have another option where you're paying like $800 a month. So you would have people signing up for that loan, but sometimes 5, 6, 7 months into the loan, people will call and say, "Why is my loan going up instead of down?" And that's because a lot of bankers and a lot of agents and brokers didn't explain to people like the option where you're only paying where you're paying the lowest amount. That's for emergencies, like if you get fired from your job and you don't have enough money to
Oh.
pay what your mortgage supposed to be with the principal, and the ideal mortgage with principal, interest, and insurance. You're only supposed to pick this emergency option only if you're sick, if you're going through some financial stuff or emergency situations like you lose your job. Some people was just paying it every month. They was like, I can pay $800 a month or $500 a month instead of paying 2,500 or 5,000. So
So they
people,
basically was locking them into loans that would never be paid off.
yeah. And what was crazy, um, I noticed that sometimes when you had bank representatives come by mortgage companies, they will offer you a higher commission on the loans that was really predatory and not really good for people. But so I was happy with like I forgot the guy's name that worked in the White House. They called him a whistleblower and stuff like that. But I'm happy for people like that to not be afraid to come out and advocate for people and educate people about how not to get in bad situations.
Yo, that's just fucked up how people just don't give a shit
Yeah,
about other people so much that they will completely ruin their lives knowingly and go home
yeah,
and eat a sandwich.
yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I'm coming into an office that remind me of the movie Boiler Room. I don't know if you remember that movie Boiler Room, one of Van Diesel's first movies, but they was like on Wall Street and get people to invest their life savings in the different things. Um, but that office was comprised of some young rich people. I remember when I first pulled up to the office I worked at, I saw all these nice cars and stuff. It made me, I couldn't help but to think of the movie Boiler Room. So yeah, it was very tempting to go about things a certain type of way, but I always try to have integrity, man.
So
But,
I seen a video. Actually,
mhm.
I've seen this a couple of times where black people are trying to get their house appraised,
Right.
and they literally had to scrub every memory they had in the house so that no one would know that black people own that house to get a fair appraisal. When they left their pictures up and it was, obvious that a black family owned that house, they were losing $200,000 on the appraisal. Is that true?
Certain cities, that type of stuff still goes on. I have a friend slash mentor of mine. He purchases properties in Mississippi, and he was telling me a lot of stuff that happens like that there.
Damn.
Yeah, so that type of stuff does happen. Yeah, crazy.
How do we combat that?
I mean, we just got to keep trusting the process, man. The world has came a long place, a
I don't
long way.
think so. I don't think so. I
Well,
think
that's
that I think they have figured out, like, for every time we figure out something and trust the process and adjust, the process changes.
yeah, you're right. But really, to me, and that's what I was going to say. I feel like the world have came a long way in certain ways, but I feel like it has not came a long way in certain ways as well. Here we are in like 2023, 24. I'm sorry, and that topic you brought about, I could that is on point. That type of stuff does still happen, but I respect all religions, man. But I think if to me it's just like simple, like I like how you gave me an introduction and coming on your show, it made me feel so good, and I be around a lot of high profile people, man. But um, I think we just need more people like you in the world to realize that we all are royalty, we all are kings. Everything that God put on this earth is for all of
Oh
us,
no, I don't believe that, bro.
Hmm.
I think you are royalty. There's some people I think are shit. I don't have no
Yeah,
problem saying that you shit. So I don't want nobody to get it twisted. I am not. Everybody is not.
you don't bite
It's
your
not.
tongue.
I do, and like the older you get, the more the more wisdom you acquire.
But you remind me of my grandfather when growing up. He said we all are royalty, but some of us don't act like it.
But you know what? But when people say all of us come from kings and queens, no, we didn't, because kings and queens had subjects,
Yeah.
and so it was some nigga cleaning up the yard. I'm sorry, could be my grandfather, could be your grandfather. Somebody was cooking for the king and queen.
Well, everybody had.
Respectable job,
Yeah.
but everybody, yeah, So
Well, we all can't be king. We all can't be rulers, but I
no,
feel like someone cleaning um, the empire or the castle is just as
important.
important as the
Yes.
person that's ruling. And so maybe that I shouldn't use the word king or queens and get out of context. But I understand everybody got a role to play.
Yeah.
But
Although
at the same time, if that's what makes things move forward, because it's like a piece to an engine. A piece to an engine costs $100. You have a piece to an engine that costs $2,000. But if both of those pieces aren't working properly, both of them can have you on the side of the road too. So
facts.
everybody's important.
Facts. And you know what? I understand the importance of building people up. So in that aspect, I get it. You know, like I call people kings and queens that I know may not be kings and queens. I ain't always a kingly motherfucker. I talk
Right.
like shit, and sometimes I got a horrible attitude.
Right.
It is what it is. You know, but it just makes you feel better.
Yeah, we all have our days.
Yeah,
None
we
of
all
us are
have our
perfect.
days. Yo, what is the best thing about selling a new couple a new house?
I mean, the best thing for me is just knowing that they are going from paying rent and helping out someone else's um, legacy into building a legacy of their own. And like everybody always say, real estate is the safest investment in the world. Properties might go down, but they're going to come back up. So I mean, you can refinance, take money out for your kids, but there's no place like home, your own home. So I just love the fact that people help people start a new chapter in their life.
That's what's up. The worst part about real estate for you.
Um, I say, not, well, not so much the worst, but the hardest part is just just getting. I deal with a lot of buyers, so just getting them to understand like you might not find everything that you're looking for in one property, because there's a lot of factors that you're looking for in a property. But you might say I want a new home, but a lot of new homes in areas out here have smaller backyards. A lot of the older, you don't want an older home, but they have bigger backyards. So where you might have a home that you really like, but they have the amount of bedrooms that you want, but you want two bathrooms. It only has one bathroom. So just wishing that you can give them everything that they're looking for, but it's just important to be realistic and be willing to give and receive during the process.
Rich people spend a shitload of money on their houses, but do they take way longer to find a house?
Um, a lot of rich people they pretty they pretty on it, you know, but at the same time, it's just like any other client, like it's all about matchmaking, like you trying to get the seller to formulate their mind what it's like to be a buyer, and you're trying to get the buyer to formulate their mind what it's like to be a seller, so you can get this deal done.
Oh, like are the sellers like pie in the sky? My house is worth $17 million when it's really worth 20,000. That type of
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, but sometimes they don't realize it until their house is on the market for like 2 or 3 months or 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then you might come across that same client and realtor maybe like 4 or 5 months later, and they way more humble the next time you talk to them.
Oh, that's gotta suck too.
Yeah, but buyers can be the same way. Sometimes they want to lowball the person, and so it's just about compromise. Yep, and not just it's just about matchmaking, just trying to compromise, get this deal done.
Okay, so my oldest daughter, she's out there in California. Just got her real estate license. She had done it before in Michigan, but she just got it out there.
Nice.
Best piece of advice you could give her.
Um, just maintain a positive attitude. As with real estate is just another form of sales. I commend anybody that's willing to be a realtor, because you don't get paid hourly. So you know yeah, just maintain a positive attitude, because if you keep grinding, they call it filling up your pipeline. You'll start getting deals back to back to back. So just maintain a positive attitude, and real estate is one of those fields where a lot of people like if you working at the hospital, they're not gonna be like, so how's sometimes they might ask you, how's it going at the hospital? But real estate is one of those fields where people, your friends and family will ask you a lot, like, how's it going? You have to keep your swag up even when things are slow. You know,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's gotta
Always
suck.
have a positive mindset.
Yeah, that,
Don't let
that's
make money. Don't let money make you.
that's hard. That's hard to. Oh, that's hard though. When you
Yeah,
got bills.
yeah. You always feel better when those deals come through, but at the end of
Oh,
the day, sometimes you might put a lot of work into a deal and it might just fall apart. But you
okay.
just
You sell a house. Let's say $1 million. You got a commission 5%. I don't know what the rate is,
yeah.
but how long after it closes do you actually get paid?
It takes about probably about 6 weeks for it to go through escrow and everything. Then for your broker to cut you a check.
Okay, well, that ain't
Hmm.
bad.
Yeah.
So how did you go from real estate to cannabis?
Well, I growing up in the Bay Area, we always been around cannabis. I mean, it's no secret the Bay Area has some of the best cannabis forever, and some of the best growers have came out of the Bay Area in California, and so you always been around it about cannabis stuff. A lot of advocates before it was even legal. A lot of people just advocating and advocating for it. That's what got it to the point where it became legal. But so I always realized that I had my moment where I smoked and stuff like that a little bit, but I always realized that it really, some people said it just to get their parents to back off of them a little bit, but I always realized that it really was medicinal. Yeah, so I got into cannabis with my buddy, like corporate cannabis stuff with my guy, GP, Gary Payton. His mom health was ailing, and he started giving her some of the cannabis gummies and stuff like that to just kind of like, help her go through the pain a little bit better. And they were working, so, and he had a couple projects going on at that time. And yeah, so I started meeting different people as he got, interested in the cannabis industry. And then we got connected with Burner, and he's from the Bay Area, and he's like, cookies are very big time. So
And
it is.
I don't. I hate to cut you off, but if you do
Mhm.
not know out there that Burner is probably top 1% of the cannabis industry.
Yep.
Like he is. If you out there, Burner, I need you on the show. Just throwing it out there.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. Yep. So we make sure we put a good word in for you with Burner. That's our guy. But yeah, so we started working with them, and I got a much more intimate view of the cannabis world, and so currently I'm working on this project. But when you're doing a startup company, that's one of the biggest things. Just being patient. We started it like right before the pandemic hit, and the climate of cannabis kind of changed a little bit during the pandemic. But yeah, so we got a company called General Principle that we're working on, but it's like a health and wellness company. So we got a nice lineup, like some nice SKUs that's going to really help people out with like CTE and arthritis, topicals for arthritis and stuff like that.
Yo, yeah, I need that right there, man.
Yeah.
Well, not me personally, but like I would love. We could always use a sponsor around here, and y'all starting up. That would be great.
All right.
But okay, so I've been in the healthcare industry for decades. How is it helping like CTE?
I'm sorry.
How is it helping CTE?
Well, we're not saying that it's curing CTE, but cannabinoids. We connected with a few doctors, and cannabinoids can be used as healing properties for
Okay.
people that's having CTE problems, and also for sports that people are playing like football and boxing and stuff like that. It can have preventative properties, so you can use the cannabinoids as preventative properties and healing properties.
And I don't think that it's gonna be too much longer before the federal government just go ahead and say, hey, we done with it. Yeah, it's legal across the board.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think it might as well get to that point because cannabis isn't going anywhere. I know it's approved by the state, but I can't wait till it's regularly regulated as well, so you can do business with more banks and stuff like that.
And I mean, like the money that's being made. Like I know Michigan has been legal just across the board, like
Right,
medicinally, recreational. It's been legal for some years now.
right.
And like I don't smoke, but from my understanding, like the quality, at least in Michigan, has elevated significantly.
Yeah.
Which is there a concern that it may be getting too strong?
Is a concern that it's getting to what?
Too strong.
Well, it's regulated, so it can have a certain amount of THC in it. But really, it's just a matter of people kind of finding out which one works for them. Because one strand that might work for one person might not work for the next person. So you just gotta, find out if sativas is better for you, or if indica is better for you, or hybrids are better for you. And everybody grow different too. But that's why the state regulates the amount of THC that can go into that can be sold.
And that's one thing that bothers me is the state regulating, because the state regulations is basically big cannabis business telling them, okay, do X, Y, and Z,
Right.
which is not always. It's kind of like the real estate business. When the banks were telling the government, okay, well, these arm loans are okay, and the government, sure. Next thing you know, everybody losing their house left and right because of these arm loans.
Right. Yeah, deferred interest loans was bad.
Oh my God! How do we ensure that there's a healthy balance between government regulations and what's good for the people?
Well, I know in California, I don't know about other states, but I think that the state officials are doing a pretty solid job at letting people consult them about
Okay.
cannabis products and consumption. So I don't think it's just numbers they just came up with. I think they're doing a good job of dealing with people that've been in the business and scientists and doctors and stuff like that. I think they're doing a pretty solid job as far as not just coming up with numbers, but figuring out what are these numbers accurate.
Which one you prefer, real estate or cannabis?
I mean, I like both. I like both. Yeah. Both of them are a grind. Both of them. You just got to just grind, man, and network. But I like both of them. I like both. Both of them change life. I always want to give a positive footprint in the world. So yeah, both of them are changing lives.
Okay, that's what's up. What's next for you?
Um, I was talking with my brother recently. He just came out with a motivational book for man. It's on Amazon, and yeah, I was with Gary in Boston probably like a year or two ago on 420 with Rick Ross, but he had his books everywhere he went. So
Wait. What's Rick Ross? The real Rick Ross or the rapper?
Freeway Rick Ross.
Okay, yeah. Who has
Yeah.
been on the show? Go check that out. Just saying.
Okay, I gotta check it out. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I got a chance to talk to him over a couple day period. And he was just saying that everybody should write a book before they leave this earth. So everybody has a story to tell. You know, yeah, but that's really it. I just I'm working with this one guy. One of my friends, he has a nonprofit organization where he has a mission to help get kids into six-figure jobs in Silicon Valley and with tech companies and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be working with him this year to to get high school and college kids prepared for that. And they have a pretty solid board. Everybody like went to like Ivy League schools and stuff with Princeton, Stanford, Cal.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's one of my missions too. I love helping kids.
I'm very very interested in that. Although I am apparently not smart enough to be on that board. Uh,
Oh man, hey, we all can help.
but I do. I wrote something on Facebook the other day, what did I say that smart kids are into science fiction not because it's corny, but because it's limitless, and they don't like to put a cap on their dreams.
I like that.
And I'm selling that in my next book.
Okay.
$12.99. No, I'm just fucking with you. I don't
Okay.
have a
Oh
book.
man.
But that I truly believe that. I think that because it's a show that I've been watching lately. Young Sheldon. I don't know if
You're right.
you watched that, but this kid is like just ridiculously smart, smarter than everybody in his state and half
Mm-hmm.
the country.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't limit himself,
I love it.
you know. And I think that is a huge problem, especially in our community, is that we put ceilings on everything.
Right.
And I expect the other side to put ceilings for us, but we kind of on autopilot in a lot of areas where I'm too old for this, or I'm not smart enough to do this, or I didn't come from this background to do this. And man, like I just hate to hear people say what they can't do.
Right. Yeah. Never doubt yourself, man. If other people can do it, you can do it. And if other people can't do it, you still can do it.
We talk ourselves out of greatness so much, and I tell people this all the time because I be hearing them have a great idea, and I'm like, dude, why are you talking yourself out of your greatness?
Right. No,
Like
you're
you
right.
just, oh my god. So your boy said you should write. I mean, Freeway said you should write a book. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, everybody have a unique story, man. Like everybody's life is like a book
Well, I
anyway.
don't, I don't care about everybody. I'm talking about you.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is, my life has chapters in it. Our lives have chapters in it. So I just feel like I always have had the mentality like anything that I have been through wasn't a waste of time. That chapter might not last forever. We might have to close the chapter and pivot into something different. But I remember I worked in a direct marketing company, and in my early 20s, and that company taught me so much about sociology. Like took sociology classes in college, but I feel like I learned more about sociology working in that company than I learned in college, just because it's just like that was a ideal study of people. It was just face to face marketing, talking to 300 to 500 people or more per day for like a couple years straight.
God, that's
Yeah,
got to
so
be painful.
no, I had fun with it, man. I had fun with it. I made sure the people I was training, I had fun with it. So I'm a people person, so I used to just I don't know. Before I knew it, everything in my car my car would always be empty at the end of the day.
Hey, I don't like people that much, man. I think but I don't, that's too much, bruh.
Yeah, door
So
to door sales not for everybody.
what chapter are you in currently? What would the title of this chapter be?
I mean, I think it's important to you know um, remember what has gotten you to where you're at. You know, sometimes you want to get into new stuff, different stuff. But this chapter right here, just keep doing what you're doing. Whether people understand it or they don't understand it. This is a chapter I'm in. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
My qualities, my mindset, my vibration have gotten me far in life. So, just let that sustain me.
Okay.
And you know how it is, man. We 40 years old. We accomplished some stuff we have wanted to accomplish, some stuff we haven't. But we got to be thankful for what we have, man. So I just keep a student mentality, keep learning more stuff, but also remember what I bring to the table. Just keep doing what I'm doing. Chapter.
Yo, how did you end up meeting Gary Payton?
Man, his dad started dating my auntie when I was 10 years old. He met her at a rec center that she ran in Oakland called EOIDC. So they got really close. They ended up having a kid. Gary's youngest sister from my auntie. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but he was in college then at Oregon State.
Who's the best point guard out of Oakland?
I mean, I Gary's the best point guard that come out of Oakland, but at the end of the day, I think that Gary's the best point guard that come out of Oakland, but really at the end of the day, everybody bring different stuff to the table. Like you got Jason Kidd, he's another good point guard. You got Brian Shaw. I mean, he played small forward, he played some point guard as well. So, but Gary was. I know it's not biased, that's my boy, but he's the best
A
in
little
Oakland.
bit, because J Kidd was crazy.
J Kidd was good.
Passing
Very
wise,
good.
Jason Kidd is nobody better than him at passing. Defense wise, I get at the GP. Offensive, definitely Gary Payton.
Yeah. He got a lot of props for his defense in Sports Illustrated and in college and stuff like that. And in the NBA Defensive Player of the Year, only one of the first point guards to ever get that award. And but at the end of the day, that dude been putting up points since middle school. So I got a chance to see them play in a little bit in high school. But yeah, he's a scoring machine. He was a scoring machine.
Now I can see the benefits of being friends with Gary Payton. Are there any downsides?
No, I wouldn't say there's any downsides. I mean, he put me in some. I mean, away from the glitz and glamour, he reminded me of his dad so much. Just never forget about me, always checking on me. Good mentor. His dad used to come by Fremont, break up the dice games at my high school and stuff. Y'all get your asses in class. So he got he got a lot of his dad in him. I watch him when he's coaching his university. I watch how how he deals with me. He got a lot of love for me. They got to check on me almost every day. Yeah, so I wouldn't say there's any downsides. It's all positive.
I can't imagine you shooting dice back in the day.
Man, you know what? I didn't shoot dice in high school, but if you were my friend, or or if you wasn't my friend, but you was a classmate, and I noticed that you were hot, I would do some side betting. Yeah, but I would. I really wasn't a shooter like that.
So you more of a safe bet type of cat.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness, man! I remember me and two of my cousins was at this this bachelor party for my cousin's best friend, and I was killing these niggas on the dice. I mean, like I was just killing everybody to the point. Like I remember my one cousin was broke. I gave him $50. He should start betting with me. Oh my god! I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever had a better night on the dice than that night, man. Shut down the whole bachelor. I shut
You
down
was
the whole
hitting, man.
bachelor part. Oh my god, them sevens was flowing, baby.
Oh man. Yeah, I would have bet on you that night too.
Oh my god, man. Sometimes sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. I've had the other sides too, man. Gambling
Right.
is a motherfucker.
Yeah, I would have bet on you that night.
Mistakes. What mistakes have you made along the way?
Mistakes. I would say it's a trip that you asked that we were at a brunching, and the question that you just asked me reminded me of the vibe at the brunching. It was an All-Star weekend brunching in Utah a couple years ago when the All-Stars in Utah. But it's like the last summer vibes, and we was like had our eyes closed, and it was like whisper to the person next to you, if you could change something, what would you change? And I just said that it's good being a analytical person and having good awareness, but sometimes don't overanalyze stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like a gift and a curse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I used to tell the kids when I was coaching basketball, I would tell some of the kids that was a little bit more free spirited, and some of the kids that reminded me of myself a lot. That was just a little bit too serious or overanalyzed things. I'm telling them, I need y'all to learn from each other. I need you to have a little bit more fun like this person. I need you to get a little bit more analytical like this person. But yeah, this is all about having balance. But that's one mistake I feel like that maybe I have made through the years. It's been a little bit over analytical.
Oh my God, I overthink shit all the time, bro.
Yeah,
And I have overthought myself out of some, I mean, definitely out of some great shit, you
yeah,
know. But sometimes I can't wait. I need to know now. You need to tell me now, and
right,
that irritates the fuck out of people.
right,
So
yeah,
or
man,
you end up being if you're too analytical, you end up being that boring nigga.
yeah,
They can depend on you,
yeah,
but you ain't spontaneous enough.
yeah, man, yeah.
I am not a spontaneous type of cat.
hmm
You know,
I have my moments where I am, but sometimes I have my moments where I'm a little over analytical as well. Yeah,
what's your
'cause,
favorite spot on the planet to visit?
I mean, man, my guy at GP, he had me in a lot of places, man. He had me in Dubai, um, in Abu Dhabi, Shanghai, Beijing, Estonia in
Yo,
Europe.
what's China like?
It's a vibe. Very clean. People very laid back. Yeah, China's a vibe. Yep, high tech. Got a lot of cameras on the streets and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, China's a vibe. Very clean though. Streets are very clean. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get like in trouble for littering over there.
man, I would
Yeah, but I
love to
enjoyed
visit
China.
China.
Yeah, China was good. It was a vibe. I think everywhere had pros and cons. I just had I cherish everywhere that I went. But I think one of my favorite places probably like when we was in Malaga in Spain.
I never
That
even
was
heard of that.
pretty nice. Yeah, it's where Picasso is from. Yeah, so we Gary was giving awards there and getting a couple awards too at the museum, the
Okay.
Picasso Museum in ballroom.
What the? I'm just curious. What type of awards was he getting from the Picasso Museum?
It was like a board. It was like the minister of sports in Spain. They were giving awards to Gary and some
From the
soccer
Picasso
players.
Museum.
Yep,
From the
they did it.
Picasso Museum.
Yeah, they did it. They did it in Madrid, and it was at the Picasso Museum. Yeah. hmm
And my bad, I hit my phone, man. And it came up the the whatchamacallit, the live stream came up. So if you hear an echo, that was my dumb ass. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no, you fine. Hey,
Oh,
well,
go ahead.
intellectually petty, man. Anything goes.
Pretty much, yeah. I had somebody tell me the other day, yo, I tried to watch your podcast and she's really churchly. She like it was too much. It was the language was too much for me. I'm sorry,
Oh yeah, she's
that's
kind
fucked
of
up.
deep, huh?
Uh, well, it is what it is. You're never going to please everybody.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And even though I got good intentions, sometimes my mouth might get in the way.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. Ain't that I'm from East Oakland, so it's all good.
Yo,
Yeah,
you don't give off East Oakland though, man. You give off just polished, like I don't know the Tom Hanks where he's from.
oh, okay, good, good.
Is intentional?
No, man. I mean, I always just did me. I always have did me. Um, I remember when I was in high school. You know how it is, and growing up in the hood, you trying to survive and stuff like that. You selling this, selling that. I remember one time I was trying to sustain myself and put a little money in my pocket, so I was selling bags to my coworkers. I mean, to my coworkers, to my fellow students.
Okay.
So this one guy came to the school and he was like, I guess he was trying to find out who his competition was. So they brought him to me, and then he looked at me. I didn't look like, the average person at Fremont. I looked like I was supposed to be at Skyline,
Right.
but yeah, he was like, it's you, But one thing that he told me is like, man, as he got to get to know me, he was like, man, like you taught me not to judge a book by its cover, and remind people to be themselves. Because I always dress like a pretty boy and stuff like that. I always carry myself like I had sense. I remember one security guard walked up to me and my friend when we was in high school, and he's like, one thing I like about you guys, man, y'all don't be sagging, y'all don't be around here talking loud and cussing around adults. He's like, but y'all doing y'all thing, man. I like y'all. I like how y'all move. Me and the guy, instead of him being my competitor at school, we ended up being friends. So,
Oh, that's dope.
yeah. So now he's like a brother to me. But
Really?
yeah, but yeah. So it's a trip how relationships can come together.
Okay, yo, I got the weirdest story. Be legit telling me how he ended up being cool with Richie Rich. They
Uh
they
huh.
uh they used the same mechanic or car fixer dude, whatever the case is, and Richie Rich stole a piece off his car.
Mm-hmm.
While while
Yeah, that's
while
crazy.
yeah, while their cars were at the shop, he needed a piece for his car. He just took the shit.
Oh man,
And be legit, approached him about it, and they talked about it, and they end up being cool as fuck.
man, that's funny.
Go, man.
That's a
And
trip how relationships can come together.
the craziest thing, man, I'm not, well, like me and my boy of decades, when I used to smoke, I was on a bus stop, and I'm like, I look around, and it's this dude smoking a blunt.
Uh
Like, you
huh.
want to hit? You want to hit this? And
Right.
we've been cool ever since. And
Oh man.
neither one of us smoked in years, but we've been cool ever since.
Right.
You know, but life is something else, man. You got kids?
Yep. I have a son. He's 25. Yeah,
Oh my
25.
goodness, man. What's been the best thing about being a father?
I mean, growing up, he would tell me thanks and he appreciate me and stuff like that, and I would always tell him thanks back too, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I say you help me put my life on a better track, and realize that I had somebody, um, you know, that I had to be a good example for. Yeah, so it didn't cure me, maybe going through some things in my early 20s, but it definitely minimized the drama I went through by having a kid. Just wanted me to be on a more positive uh, vibe.
Yo, that should definitely put you on a different trajectory. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At some point, it just and I don't know if it's when they born. Most of us kind of maybe a little bit after they born or whatever, but it just dawns on you that I can't keep doing this stupid shit.
yeah. If you care, man, you'll change when you have a kid. So I definitely changed. Started coaching him all during elementary and middle school, and started being a mentor to other kids in the Bay Area, kind of like what Gary Dad did for me and
Hmm.
other kids growing up with Gary's era and stuff like that in my era. And yeah, so it definitely put me, in the um, in the community more.
Would you have another one?
Man, I wouldn't say it's late in the game, but I don't really plan at this point in time. But you never know. Yeah, I'm 44, man. So it's kind of late. I feel like it's pros and cons having kids early, but I also feel like it could be pros and cons having them a little bit late too. But I wouldn't say this is an ideal age, though. 44.
Yeah, you don't want to be that 80-year-old nigga at graduation.
Yeah.
And like, oh, is that your grandson? No, 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 that's actually my kid.
Right. Yeah, man.
Although I don't know.
But I feel like
Do,
every kid that come into this world is meant to be, though. To be honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, are you? Are you scared for your grandchildren or your future grandchildren or what they're inheriting as the world?
Man, that's a good point you brought up, man. The world is shifting in a crazy direction. It's definitely shifting in a crazy direction. It's it's very kind of nerve wracking to wonder where the world is going to be 20, 30 years from now.
Like I never really foresaw or even thought about or considered the end of this country,
Hmm.
but I do now. I do now, and that's a scary. Like I got 6 grandkids.
Right.
My oldest is 14 and she's in high school,
Uh huh.
and my youngest just turned 2.
Your youngest just turned how old?
2.
2. Okay.
So I just don't. I'm definitely scared for my 2-year-old grandbaby, what she's going to be when she's grown, what the
Yeah.
world is going to be. Will this country exist?
What's some of the things that scare you?
Will this country exist?
And why do
The
you think you have to be curious about that?
Because I think that we're at a point now where white people in this country foresee this being South Africa. Difference being is that even though there were some horrible things that happened to the brothers and sisters in South Africa, the white people have done us so much harm. Not everybody, but historically in this country that they're scared that we're going to pay them back.
Right.
And so, like now, you have them trying to erase history and act like everything like it's kumbaya instead of saying, "Hey, we fucked up. How can we fix this?"
Right.
And I don't think that our the next I don't know how it's going to be in 100 years when this country is predominantly Hispanic and black people, and white people are the minority.
Yeah. It's a great question.
You know, I know how I would be if I was being born in 100 years. Yeah, and it would definitely not be. You know, I don't know. So I'm scared that they're going to push the pendulum so far with some of the laws that they're doing now that it's going to expedite ruining this country out of fear.
Yeah. I mean, that's people just gotta. My my opinion. I think people gotta make sure when you're in a position of power that you use it the right way and don't abuse it.
But see, that's subjective. Like your right way and my right way may conflict. Because if you look at like the way that they have stacked the federal judges, like people do not realize how much Trump has changed the judicial system of this country for decades to come.
Yeah.
Like when he put in a shitload of judges that think like he do,
Yeah.
and like that's you and I probably won't feel the effects. If we do, it will be in a nursing home, 80 years old, sipping out a straw.
Man, it's a trip. That young thug is going through the same situation as Trump with the RICO charge.
Young Thug made it too easy. And I think it's emblematic of this generation making things way too easy for the government. Like you just can't get online or talk about all your business to everybody, or like you got to understand that these cell phones are megaphones. And I think this generation, unfortunately, is learning that the hard way.
Yeah.
I'm, I'm hoping that their kids, and I'm not gonna sit up here and act like crime is just gonna stop. It's not. But get smarter. Stop telling on yourself. I just don't. They're getting on Instagram, telling the world what you did because you want to be liked. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
What are you listening to now? Like, you listen to music?
Um, I like all type of music, man. Um, I grew up playing the drums in church. My twin brother um, grew up playing the piano. A lot of my and uncles were musicians and singers. So I feel like it's in my blood. I've always been into all different genres of music. My brother used to play when he come pick us up on Saturday mornings to go play basketball at the gym. He would just be playing all type of stuff from David Benoit, the jazz player, to Anita Baker, Tony Braxton, gospel music. So I was blessed to be introduced to a wide range of music at an early age. But I feel like that nothing that's really changed with me since when I first started listening to music. I just listen to a wide range of music. You
Identical
know,
twins?
fraternal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I always
you know,
wanted like having an identical twin would kind of be dope.
yeah, yeah. It'd be
Yeah,
super dope.
to an extent, because like y'all only have one identity to the world,
Hmm.
so that would suck. At some point, I kind of want my own thing going on. But man, the shenanigans that we could play, that'll
Yeah,
never go away.
yeah, have a lot of fun with identical twin growing up.
So personality wise, like how are y'all different?
uh, when we were younger, I was more the serious person. He was more like the turn up one.
Mm,
And then it kind of switched shoes once we got older. I say I'm kind of like turn up more than him now. He kind of more house body. I don't know want to be outside and stuff.
oh, so he burnt out. He's chilling
Uh,
now.
man, some of the stories I used to hear of him when we was in middle school, I couldn't believe it because I didn't. I mean, I would see him joking around at family get-togethers and stuff like that. In elementary. But when we got in middle school, you know, you have 6 classes per day now when you get into
Right.
middle school. So that people be like, man, it's going down in third period or it's going down in fifth period. But people would come up to me and say, man, third period, Mr. Jones class, we be going down. Your brother be in there acting up. Or fifth period, our science class, we be going down in there. Your brother be acting up. I couldn't. Some of the stuff I was hearing was just like I didn't think he was that crazy. Some of the stuff that he used to be doing or saying in class, but he was a trip. He got a referral like 30 days in a row at our middle school in Oakland Hills. Like you were saying earlier, there's a lot of affluent families up there, a lot of foreigners that would go to any other middle schools in Oakland, come to Montero. And yeah, they ended up kicking him out, sending him back down, to the flatlands, to Bread Heart. But I was like, man, I told you, so to tone it down a little bit. But yeah, but now it's like he's totally different. He ministering music at the church and stuff like that. He's just super, super chill. He come and have a glass of wine with us. He be feeling bad the next day. I'm like, dude, you're all right. You're not going to hell. You could over some wine. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the big man sipped on a little wine. He turned water into wine.
right,
I think he'll be okay with that one.
right. Let me fix this lighting real quick if you don't mind. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. We almost done anyway, though, bro. You all right?
All right.
Yeah, you good, bro. Like we should. I didn't realize until I just looked over. It's damn near been an hour, bro. We out wrapping it up.
Man, I enjoyed my time with you, man.
Yeah, well, likewise, man. I like having dope conversations with great people, man.
Thank you.
Uh,
Likewise.
if people want to buy a house from you, how they get in contact with you?
Man, the best way to get in contact with me is go to Instagram, bless, BLESSED _ top tier, TOPTIER, and then realtor will show up. So yeah, when you go on Instagram, just place bless underscore top tier realtor.
Okay. Most expensive house you've sold.
Probably like 1.3.
Ooh, that's nice. Well, actually, that's kind of like that's not expensive in California.
Nah, not really. You got some $2-3 million homes in the Bay Area. Yeah, the average home is about you know probably about 700 to $1 million in the Bay Area, just decent homes.
That's crazy.
But the further
I,
you out, like in the quote unquote valley,
hmm
things get a little bit cheaper. But I'm in Oakland, and anywhere from like the East Bay to the South Bay to North Bay, like Marin and San Francisco area. It's all about location. The closer you are to jobs and less crime and stuff like that, you have better value on homes.
how
But
about Vallejo?
Vallejo, it's a kind of tricky city right now. What's going on with the city officials and stuff like that for the past like 10 years? So
Hmm
the police department. So that definitely have affected the value of homes. You get more for your money in Vallejo. They don't have like a big pool of properties, but yeah, when they do, it's not as high as other places. And then you have to go over the bridge too. So a lot of times people don't like to stay there. They don't want to pay for the bridge every day.
Oh, you got to pay for the bridge.
Yeah, but they don't have toll workers anymore. So you go over the bridge with your fast track.
They don't have toll workers. Like,
Yeah,
what?
they just you just have your thing in the window called fast track. I don't know, you might be familiar with it, but
Oh,
yeah, and they just charge you $7 every time you go across.
what? Every
Yeah,
time?
every time.
Oh man, so that's $15 a day, damn near, if you work like in the Bay Area.
Well, if when you're leaving, they don't charge you, but when you're entering to
Oh, okay,
Vallejo or you're entering into San Francisco, they charge you $7.
okay, I got you. So,
And if you don't pay it, it'll turn into 35.
but shit, even still though, like if you only paying one way and you work 5 days a week, that's $35, and
Yeah,
you got to park somewhere.
yeah. Again, the Bay Area, they say, man, if you making like 80 to 90,000, you're low income in the Bay Area.
Yo, see, I'm in Ohio, and if you making, I'm in Cleveland, and if you making $80,000 to $90,000, you doing all right.
Yeah, man. It's just it depends where you at, man.
Yeah, I think
You know,
Ohio is definitely top 10 most affordable states to live in.
yeah,
Yeah, I can't even imagine some of these. I would never move to New York or California ever.
yeah, super high.
Oh, and definitely not Seattle. I heard like I think Seattle is like the highest city to live in the country.
Well, yeah, I mean they got a lot of tech stuff going on in Seattle, and yeah, Seattle's a beautiful city.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that though. And they can keep fucking Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's
so
a
mix a lot.
personal situation with that nigga, man.
Oh
Yo,
man,
yeah, I tried to get him on the show, man, and he just clowned me about one show I did, and was a real asshole about it. I'm like, damn,
uh,
bro.
oh man,
Like,
he's from
right?
Seattle, huh? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I was a big fan of Sir Mix-a-Lot, man. Still am, man. Posse on Broadway. Oh my God, one of my favorite
Oh
songs
yeah,
ever, man. But man,
classic.
oh my God, he was such a jerk, man. I usually don't throw people under the bus either, but man, that dude was just a. Anyway, man. I gotta thank you tremendously, bro, for coming on the show. It's been
Oh
an
yeah, for
honor and a
sure.
privilege, man. Love the conversation. I don't know if there's ever
Likewise,
anything I can do for you, but if there is, you got my math already. Let me know, and I got you.
I got you too, Jobs, and it was a pleasure and honor to be on here, man. I love having conversations like this with substance. So yeah, hopefully people learn some stuff, listen to our conversation. Yeah, but I look forward to networking with your daughter with the real estate and anything that I can do for her. I got her back. So yeah,
All
you
right,
got
appreciate
connections.
that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, I absolutely will, man.
hmm
And like I say, if you need anything, man, just hit me up. You got my number.
Yes, I definitely will be reaching out to you, man. And, I love your platform. Yeah, appreciate you creating a platform for people to tell their story and to motivate others and to promote their brands. et
I
cetera, et
try, man.
cetera. Yeah,
Yeah, we trying. You
yeah,
know,
for sure. Keep
if you
doing
know
what you
anybody
do.
want to come on the show, man, let me know. I got you.
Okay, I will.
All right, no doubt,
Okay,
man. Have a good one.
okay, you too.
Peace.
All right, peace.
Yo, that was very dope, man. Shout out to Jason Dixon, man. Very phenomenal conversation. I learned a little bit, which is unusual. I don't learn much. I try not to learn much on any given day. Uh, but next week we got Casey the model and Philip Sample. That's gonna be pretty dope. Casey the model is just a very young lady who is doing tremendous things. Got a music career popping off. Just super branding, the whole nine. And Philip Sample, man, my guy, did some time, came out and made a difference. So anyway, this has been Jobs. You're tuned into another episode of Intellect Petty Radio. You already know. Like, subscribe, share the channel. Shout out to Sir Lock, the real Adidas boy. Yo, I literally am rocking a pair of tens right now. Anyway, on that note, I'm out. Y'all have a good one.